FujiFilm X-M5, brand new camera from Fuji. Very small, very affordable, pretty much pocket size. It is kind of user-friendly, exchangeable lens Fujifilm system. In this video, hopefully help you decide if this camera is for you or not. So keep watching. Firstly, very quick disclaimer, I have this camera on loan from FujiFilm Poland, but as always I was not asked or paid to say anything specific about it, and everything you hear and see in this video is my honest and unbiased opinion about this camera. So what we got here, we got Fuji 26.1 million pixel sensor, and the classic, what most people go for Fuji for, the Fuji film looks. Also, this camera kind of designed for beginner. And it is designed for beginner. It's easy to use straight out of the box in fully automatic mode, but it also has got fully manual control like you would have with any bigger or pro camera. I have been using Fuji X-S20 for a while now, and I like that camera a lot, and presumably this has got the same sensor as X-S20, but first impression after switching this on, the autofocus performance is hugely improved. There's a new algorithm which is predictive. It predicts what it's seeing and is detecting eyes, for example, in animals and humans. So even in the low lighting conditions or difficult lighting conditions, it detects subject pretty well. And it has got standard now to Fuji eye detection, human form detection, as well as birds, animals, planes, motorbikes, and like drones and insects even. The only thing with all these great autofocusing features and modes is that they're hard to access. There's no dedicated button for them. You have to go through menu or the quick menu. Bit of a ball ache. Overall image quality is excellent. If you use the preset, the Fuji looks, or you shoot raw and edit pictures yourself, this camera can deliver really nice and impressive results. Video performance, this is the best I have seen from Fuji, especially from Fuji in this lower end class. You do get obviously the film looks standard, but you also get F-Log2 flat color profile. You can record raw video over HDMI externally to Blackmagic or Atomos recorders. We do have a 6.2K open gate which uses full area of the sensor to record video, which is 3:2, but that gives you bigger file overall, bigger dimensions. So you can crop it to horizontal 4K, for example, or vertical for use on TikTok, Instagram Reels, or in generally in this format. So one recording, one file, but multiple usages of that file. 4K 60p, but with the crop it's 1.8 times crop. There's no IBIS built in, there's no optical stabilization, but there's electronic stabilization built in, and that adds 1.3 times crop. So if you are recording with 4K 60, for example, which got already 1.8 crop, and then you switch the electronic stabilization, you do have significant crop. Not a big deal in a camera this size and this price, but if that bothers you, basically you need wider lenses, tripod, or a gimbal. What really makes this camera stand out when it comes to video is the vlog mode. This is like a simplified way to film yourself with. When you enable the vlog mode and you flip the screen forward towards you, you get a special menu. You got more functions specifically designed for when you're filming yourself, so everything you might possibly need when you're filming yourself. The display is actually, the numbers and letters on the display are bigger, so you can see on the front screen better when you are in front of the camera. This allows you also to shoot 15 or 30 or 60 second clips in vertical, so it shoots in 6.2K and automatically crops the camera so the files are ready to use straight onto social media. There's also a very neat feature. There's a multiple microphones built in, and you can change the direction microphone picks the sound from more clearly. So you can set it up to pick the sound from the front or from the back or around the camera, depending on what you prefer. Build. This is a very small camera, only 355 grams for body only. Also a great combo with this new version of 16 to 50mm f2.8 to f4.8 zoom lens, which is got internal zooming. Whole package is really small and almost pocket size. The whole camera feels a little bit plasticky, but feels solid at the same time. On top you do have a film dial. This is the new thing with Fuji. You can access your film presets, your film looks instantly by just turning the wheel. There's 8 presets on here, but there's a 14 available. 14 I can find. Fuji says there's a 20. I can only see 14 in the menus. So you can actually assign these 8 buttons here to the 8 you use the most. Also there's a 3 custom ones. On the other side you do have a dial for a standard manual aperture priority, shutter priority, auto, the vlog option, and custom buttons. Very simple. There's not much space for the buttons, and what they've done here actually to save space, there's two wheels, a standard shutter and the aperture, but the front one actually presses, so you got 3 different functions or 4 different functions. You can specify what you want that wheel to do, so with each press it changes the mode to whatever function you want to use. By default you get an aperture, ISO and a film look, and then you can also add, like for example, exposure compensation. It's very handy and saves the space, so the 4 functions on one wheel. Obviously there is no viewfinder, only the screen. The screen is not the highest resolution, but using it in a very sunny Warsaw, I didn't really have huge problems in the direct sunlight. It's okay, as you would expect from the screen. It's no worse than my smartphone. I'd say very usable in direct sunlight. Kind of unusual for the camera this size. We got a microphone and the headphone socket, but on the opposite sides of the camera there's only one SD card slot, as expected as well, and we do have a USB-C socket for charging or transferring the files to the computer, and micro HDMI for connecting camera to monitor or TV. I don't know who uses those anymore, but there is retro threaded hole for screwing in your cable release. There's no active cooling, so if you're recording video, especially the higher frame rates, higher formats for longer periods of time, camera probably will overheat. I am in autumn in Poland, so I can't really test that right now outside, but there is no cooling. You could possibly overheat. When you switch the camera for the first time, it asks you if you want to keep it in standard mode. When it gets too warm, the camera will shut off, or do you want to risk and set it to high mode, so basically it will run as long as it can, but it can get a little bit hot. For what Fuji has done as well, like with all other cameras, there's the 2 threaded holes in the back of the camera underneath the screen for attaching optional extra cost cooling fan. So if you are recording weddings, if you had to record weddings or longer pieces to camera in a hot studio, for example, if you are a content creator, so you could purchase optional Fuji fan to cool the camera actively down while it's being used. There's literally no buttons in the back, just simple menu and display back button and the tiny little joystick. And joystick is important here because there's no other buttons. You can navigate with the screen, the menus, the focusing, choosing the focusing point with your finger on the screen, but that little joystick is really helpful and speeds up things a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to use the camera overall. It comes in this kind of vintage looking silver and also classy black. Price: very well priced camera for what it can actually do. £800 or $800 for a body only. This is a very good price for the classic Fuji looks and the open gate 6.2 video, 4K 60 video in the camera this small. The price makes it really good value, not only for the amateur total beginner, but also seasoned pro, because you do have a full control and you can shoot raw photos and raw video externally with it, and the F-log as well. So it is a very capable camera for a very small price tag. I need to also add that Fuji has got a great selection of lenses for this camera, or for any X-mount Fuji camera, but also third-party brands like Viltrox, Sigma. They also produce Fuji lenses now, so there is a big choice of lenses to use with this camera. So who is this camera for? Just because it's small and affordable, it doesn't mean it's a camera only for beginners. It packs a punch. The fact that it has got a full manual control and all these pro settings and modes makes it actually very good choice of the camera for someone who also has experience and want to just basically carry less with them. Perfect for travel or street photography because it's less visible in your hands. You're less visible with it while taking photos of people on the street, for example. For content creation, for content creators, because it is fairly easy to use, the vlog mode is very self-explanatory and easy to operate when you want to film yourself or products or something in your hands, or b-roll, whatever you want to film as a content creator. This can do it pretty well. There's no viewfinder, but do you really need viewfinder? If you're coming from your phone and you experience touching the screen and looking at the phone screen to operate your camera with, this has got just that and a little bit more. Conclusion: this camera has surprised me. I didn't expect to be as good or enjoyable to use as it is. I didn't really miss the viewfinder. I wear glasses to see close, and this screen, even the bright sunlight, in generally, it was very easy to use and operate even without my glasses. I've actually enjoyed and had good success shooting with this camera without a viewfinder, and I am a big fan of a viewfinder. Great for a quick whip out of the camera bag or a big pocket, set it in auto and you can start shooting. But also the full manual control gave me all creative control I needed to feel at home with this camera instantly. Personally, the Fujifilm looks are not for me, very gimmicky. I prefer to add these or looks like that, my own presets or other presets to the files when I'm editing in Lightroom. But for those who don't want to edit, don't want to do the faff of it, they just want to take the photos straight on the camera and post them to social media, these are actually very handy and very useful. It is pocket sized, especially with the right lens. This is not the smallest lens you can have, but this is probably the most versatile, 16 to 50mm. Very nice lens for pretty much everything, run and gun situations, video and photography. Personally, I think that this camera is way more versatile and better than X100VI, which is so popular and difficult to buy, because here you can change lenses. You get more of the camera for significantly less money, about half price of X100VI costs. Certainly not the camera for everyone, but small size is deceiving. This camera can do a lot, and I do highly recommend this camera for anyone who wants more than a phone or less than a big camera. Perfect choice to be creative with. And this is it from me. Thank you for watching. Hope this video was in some way helpful or informative. If it was, please give me the thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you're not doing so already. And I'll see you next time.